There's something Christopher Walken has been hiding for 40 years. It happened on a yacht near Catalina Island. 3 people went to sleep that night. Only 2 woke up. Natalie Wood was found floating in the Pacific, bruised and lifeless. Walken was there. So was her husband. Someone heard screaming. Someone threw a bottle. Someone knows exactly what happened. Now at 82, new details are emerging. Details about jealousy, alcohol, and a fight that turned deadly. The captain finally spoke. And what Walken told investigators changes everything we thought we knew. He wasn't born Christopher. He wasn't even born into showbiz. He was Ronald Walken, a shy kid from Atoria, Queens. Born on March 31, 1943. His mother, Rosalie, had escaped poverty in Glasgow, while his father, Paul, came from Germany and opened a small bakery. Paul changed their last name from Walken to Walken during the war. Being German in 1940s New York wasn't easy. Neighbors whispered, customers hesitated. That feeling of being watched, of being different, stayed with Walken. It helped shape the eerie calm he later brought to his most unforgettable roles. But the real surprise, he started not with acting but with dance. Just 3 years old, his mother enrolled him in a local studio. While other kids were barely out of nappies, Walken was learning tap, ballet, and acrobatics. By 5, he could pull off complicated routines. At 7, he was earning $50 a week dancing at the Majestic Theater in Brooklyn. That's like $600 today. He didn't just move well. He moved like someone who knew rhythm, could tell stories just as powerfully as words. Every strut, pause, and glance he gave on screen later came from those dance floors. And he wasn't doing it alone. Walken had 2 brothers, Kenneth and Glenn. All 3 got pulled into the booming world of 1950s live television. The trick: just show up. They'd linger around NBC's Rockefeller Center studios until someone needed furniture. Kids who stood in the background. At $7 a day, it helped pay bills. Walken ended up on the Colgate Comedy Hour and The Wonderful John Acton, usually uncredited but always absorbing. He was watching how lights hit the face, how directors gave cues, how everything in showbiz ran like clockwork. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a master class in how the industry worked. He didn't stop there. At age 10, Walken enrolled in the professional children's school in Manhattan. It wasn't a normal school. Classes ended by lunch, and afternoons were filled with performance training, acting, singing, dancing. Students like Liza Minnelli and Elliot Gould shared the hallways. Teachers didn't just grade papers, they scouted talent. The school took a cut of their students' earnings like an unofficial agent. Walken learned fast. This was a business. You show up, hit your mark, and deliver. No excuses. Gave him the discipline that would define his work for decades. Then came something totally unexpected. When he was 16, he spent a summer taming a lion. That's not a metaphor. He saw an ad in Variety from a small circus looking for a lion tamer, and he actually got the job. The lion Sheba was a 300-pound African female. She was considered tame, but there's no such thing when you're alone in a cage. Walken performed twice a day, earned $25 a week, and lived in a trailer. He later joked that once you've stared down a lion, no director on earth can scare you. It wasn't acting school, but it taught him presence, bravery, and stillness. And those traits never left. Just 16 years old, Ronnie Walken stepped onto a Broadway stage. It was 1959, and the play was J.B., a retelling of The Book of Job. This wasn't just some school play. It had won the Pulitzer Prize and the Tony for Best Play. A heavy story about suffering and faith, performed in front of New York critics and crowds. For a teenage kid from Queens to land a role in something this big was rare. He wasn't doing musical numbers anymore. This was serious work. serious theater, and it gave him a taste of what real acting felt like. Deep, emotional, and unforgettable. It was the first big step away from child roles and into the world of powerful drama. 2 years later, in 1961, he enrolled at Hofstra University. But college life didn't last long. Within a year he dropped out. The reason, a job. Not just any job, but a part in the off-Broadway revival of Best Foot Forward, a musical originally from 1941. The paycheck helped, but more than that, it gave him real work with real actors. He didn't leave college out of boredom. He left because the world outside the classroom was already calling, and he trusted his gut. That choice, risky at the time, paid off. More roles started coming in. Throughout the 1960s, he was everywhere in theater. He tackled Shakespeare in Measure for Measure, took on Tennessee Williams in The Rose Tattoo, and then came The Lion in Winter. His performance earned him the Theatre World Award, which only went to the most promising newcomers. It wasn't luck. It was years of learning. Every line, every emotion, every gesture. He wasn't just another actor anymore. He was becoming a name people respected. In 1971, he made his film debut in The Anderson Tapes, directed by Sidney Lumet. The film starred Sean Connery as an ex-con planning a massive heist. Walken played another ex-con part of the crew. It was a supporting role, but it mattered. The movie was ahead of its time, one of the first to talk about surveillance and hidden cameras, and Walken's presence didn't go unnoticed. Hollywood started paying attention. 6 years later, in 1977, he popped up in Annie Hall. He only had one scene, but it was enough. He played Dwayne, the brother of Diane Keaton's character. In a deadpan voice, he calmly talked about his fantasies of crashing his car head into traffic. Creepy, intense, and unforgettable. That one moment made a mark. The film went on to win 4 Oscars and 4 BAFTAs. It made over $38 million at the box office. And Walken